You sounded rather angry. Limp Bizkit. Fred and the rest of them with Take a Look Around. This is a historical groan, partly anyway. It's about the education system, and this came about when I was looking at my recent payslip from work, and it reminded me of years back when I got my first one aged about 18. I looked at it at the time and there were deductions of tax and national insurance. Now, I sort of knew the concept of tax around then, but didn't really know how it worked and wasn't expecting it to be taken off my salary as I wasn't earning much. I didn't quite understand the whole thing. Either way, it was correct, as it turned out the amount they deducted. Regarding national insurance, I didn't have a clue what that was. In other words, most of this was a complete surprise. And why? Because I wasn't taught it at school. I left school about 20 years ago, for reference. It's okay, though, because we learned Shakespeare, poems, algebra and dance. Now, those subjects may be useful for a few people, but for most of us, they won't be ever. Lesson time would have been much better spent on how your payslip works, for example, and why tax and national insurance are deducted every month, although this can vary, and there's self-employment, corporation tax. See, there's a lot to get into just on that one subject, but we weren't taught this. It's like we'll teach you a bunch of stuff you never need to know, but when it comes to the useful things, and then you're on your own. We need to be taught how to open a bank account, what to watch out for when buying a car, how to go about buying a house, looking out for scams, how to budget, how to go about getting married, and how to find the best gas, electric and internet provider prices. You know, the things that actually affects everyone. Now, I will say in secondary school we had these things that were called special study days. These were probably the best out of the entire year, as they were actually useful. Stuff like sex education, the dangers of drugs and alcohol, and information about potentially going off to university. But these days only happened a few times a year. The rest of the time it was back to mainly the useless stuff. What I'm talking about is having essential life lessons several times every week. Now, this may have improved a bit in recent years, although I suspect not much. Primary and secondary school is mainly a taster of everything, and you narrow down what you want to do work-wise as you get older. School on the whole was useful. Of course it was. More so in the sixth form, where you choose all your subjects. Hopefully the good ones. I just wish the useless subjects were scrapped and more life lessons were taught. Today in class we're going to study Romeo and Juliet, but not to worry when it comes to renting a flat or getting car insurance or understanding your P60. Well, you're going to have to figure that one out for yourself.